What's up, guys? We're back with a full slate of MLB action here on Wednesday, April 9th. We're going to break down every Major League Baseball game on the slate. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure you're checking that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and starters are confirmed. Yesterday, guys, off to a pretty brutal start over there on the NBA side. Pretty unfortunate there to be on the Timberwolves at minus 3.5. They blow a 24-point lead. 24-point lead there to eventually lose straight up there to the Milwaukee Bucks, so that's a pretty bad look. We also had the Hawks plus 4.5. They kept that game close against the Orlando Magic, just not quite close enough. We still got the Warriors minus 7 and the Clippers minus 12.5 to go, so hopefully we can pull out that 2-2 day. Guys, if you're happy to see Major League Baseball back, slam that like button. It's free, helps me a ton, and shows your appreciation for all the free information and the fact that I am once again recording very, very under the weather. Shout out once again to ibuprofen and Dayquil. Think of this as tipping, but here it's absolutely free. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. That'll help keep you from missing our daily videos. Comment below with any bets you're looking today or any other feedback you have for me, and I will personally respond. Quick reminder, all of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. In Major League Baseball, our most profitable sport the last 3 years in a row, is off to a fantastic start to the year. Looking like another good day coming up in this one. Already have the Angels cashing as a premium play, so that was a good pick. They win the one-run game over there. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll have access to exclusive free picks, free-to-use bet size calculators, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not always match what you guys see here in the video. Also, you guys need to get over there and sign up for our free email newsletter, which will get you free picks straight to your inbox every day and updates on results. Just make sure to check your spam folder. You might be able to get in on the Masters plays that are coming out. A ton of information on the Masters if you're looking to bet some golf. If you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members get exclusive early access to all of my videos, get their names up on screen in every video, but more importantly, you'll get access to our monthly members-only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member in early April. If we can get up to 80 channel members, we'll do 2 giveaways next month. We're sitting at around 61 members right now at time of recording. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Cardinals come into this game 5-6 on the season. They've split the first 2 games of the series, winning game 2 5-3 after losing game 1 8-4. We do see Skeens have a really rough time out there against the Redbirds, giving up 5 runs, a career worst 5 runs there for Skeens. So not what we expect to see from him over the course of the season, obviously, but St. Louis will definitely go ahead and take advantage of that. They haven't had the greatest start to the year. They're hitting the ball in this one to Eric Feedy, who's 1-1 to start the year. Tale of 2 starts here. Bro's sporting a 7 ERA. Dominated the Twins, then came out and got obliterated there by the Boston Red Sox. 3 innings, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, gave up a couple home runs, walked 4, struck out 1, just clearly did not have his stuff in that game. Now, can we expect a bounce back from him in this one? I think that's definitely possible. Obviously, pitching at Fenway can be a little bit different. Obviously, different weather circumstances can be going on as well. So I'm generally leaning towards Feedy pitching at least better than he did against Boston. It would be pretty shocking to see him pitch worse. So we'll see how things go there. The Cardinals' bullpen this season has not necessarily been among the lead leaders. They're actually 5th worst, so 25th in the majors right now with a 5.64 bullpen ERA, but it's still pretty early. Not going to make any huge sweeping judgments about that bullpen. Offensively, the Cardinals not looking bad here out of the gates. Not looking bad at all. They've had 10 hits in a row in several games in a row. I don't know. They've had 10 hits in several games in a row. It's been pretty wild stuff, but all that offense has not necessarily translated into winning. So need to see those, third most runs in the MLB, first in batting average, translate into some wins. So we'll see what they can do here against the Pirates, who come into this game 4-8 on the season. They're fresh off of a loss there in game 2. Obviously, like winning game 1, losing game 2. They're 4-8 on the season, so not exactly the start to the year that they would have envisioned. It's been a little bit brutal out there. They're hitting the ball in this one to Mitch Keller, another guy who's had 1 good start and 1 really bad start. Now, his good start was against the Marlins to open the season, giving up only a single run on 5 hits over 6 innings and a 4-3 win there for the Pirates. Probably feels great, but then he got shelled by the Yankees, giving up 7 earned runs despite giving up 0 home runs. He walked 4, struck out 4, and that all took place in 3 2/3 innings. So pretty brutal stuff. The Pirates lose that game 9-4. Will he bounce back in this game? Once again, I think that's very, very likely. Bro's not going to be that bad back-to-back games, right? I would certainly think not, especially going up against the Cardinals, albeit a team that's off to a hot start at the plate, but not hot enough that we should be thinking they're going to, just be like the Yankees. So we'll see what happens here with the Pirates. Their bullpen off to a pretty bad start as well. They're in the bottom half of the majors, a 4.34 bullpen ERA. Obviously nothing to write home about. And this offense Also, nothing to write home about. They've been below average basically all season long here. I mean, 25th in the majors, batting .207 as a team, 27th in slugging percentage. Nobody off to a particularly hot start. So, looking at the numbers for this game, it's not too big of a shock to see it's pretty close here. The Cardinals -114, the Pirates -104. We've got a total of 8. St. Louis, guys, not a great road team this season. They're 3-0 to the over when playing on the road, though. Pittsburgh, 2-2 at home, 4-4 to the over at home. These may be off by one game. That's possible. They haven't updated yet. But regardless, guys, I'm going to be leaning towards the Cardinals here at -114. I think it's a pretty reasonable spot for them to, put up some runs here once again. Maybe make Keller have another mediocre to not, or just not great performance. So I think that translates into the Cardinals having a pretty good time out there. You could talk me into the over possibly, but neither one of those probably going in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The Marlins come into this game 5-6 on the season. They've dropped the first 2 games of this series, so yeah, pretty tough there. We see Derek Hill making that crazy catch on the warning track for the Marlins. That was cool, but not enough for them to get the win. The Marlins handing the ball in this one to Max Meyer. He's 0-1 on the season, a 3.09 ERA, though doesn't look terrible. His last start, 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs against the Atlanta Braves. Doesn't exactly fill me with optimism, though. Bro did strike out 8. His strikeout numbers have been excellent, but yeah, I mean, you had a good start against the Pirates, a team that's off to a bad start to the season, and you got shelled by the Atlanta Braves, so we'll see what he can do here. I'm not exactly expecting miracles from this young guy. The Miami bullpen hasn't been great either. They're clearly in the bottom half of the majors, and kind of not a big shock there. The offense also hasn't exactly been lighting the world on fire. A bottom 5, bottom 10 team in most major statistical categories. So not a lot of positives for the Miami Marlins. A trend you might want to get used to if you're a Marlins fan for this season. They're going on the road to take on the Mets, who are 8-3. They're off to a very good start to the year. They've won their last, 5 in a row now, so killing it at the moment. Handing the ball in this one to Taylor Miguel, who's 2-0 on the season, a 0.87 ERA. He dominated the Houston Astros, giving up a single run on 3 hits over 5 innings and striking out 6. Then he followed that up with a solid start against Toronto, 5 1/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, and another 5-0 win. So very good stuff, generally speaking, there for Miguel. He'll be looking to have his 3rd straight very, very solid start. And 2-0 in the year, not a bad way to get things going. The Mets coming out of the pen have obviously been elite, top bullpen ERA in the majors so far, a 1.27 ERA coming out of the pen. That will certainly work. The offense has also been definitely playable, trending in a better direction here recently. Not off to the hottest start, except for Pete Alonso, who's been killing it. Bro's batting .333 with 3 home runs and 15 RBIs to get out of the gate here. So that's pretty nuts. You don't expect to see that continue forever, but regardless, the Mets will take it for right now. That's why they are huge favorites in this game, guys. You see the Marlins at +185, the Mets at -225. We've got a total of 7 out there. Miami only 1-3 on the road, 2-2 to the over/under on the road. The Mets are 5-0, undefeated at home, 4-1 to the under at home. I'm not taking under 7. That's just not something that's going to happen right now. I do think you might want to take a look at taking the Mets -1.5. That could be worthwhile in this game. I'm not going to take them at -225. That seems a little bit nuts. Am I interested in backing the Marlins here with Max Meyer on the mound? I don't know, guys. 1 bad start, 1 good start, and yeah, he's pitching on the road again, which is where his bad start was. I'm going to shade here towards the Mets at -1.5. Next up, guys, we got the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Yankees come to this game 6-5 on the season, but losers of their last 3 in a row. First couple games here at Detroit, not going great. They've scored a total of 2 runs over those games. They just got shut out in game 2, losing 5-0. So that's pretty rough, but losing to Skubal is something that's going to happen to a lot of teams. The Yankees are giving the ball to Max Fried in this one. He's 1-0, a 2.61 ERA through his first 2 starts. His first start against the Brewers didn't exactly look great. 7 hits over 4 2/3 innings, giving up 6 runs, only 2 of which were earned. Thank God for run support there. He doesn't take the loss. But then he pitched well against the Pirates, but it was the Pirates, and he still gave up 6 hits in that game, only a single earned run via the home run. Struck out 6, walked 1. So we'll see what he can do here against the Tigers. Definitely a better team than either one of those squads coming out of the NL Central. The Yankees bullpen comes into this game not off to what I would call the necessarily the hottest start per se, but they also haven't been a disaster. A 3.53 bullpen ERA has them at least above average in the majors, but nothing to write home about. The offense has been kind of all over the place. A lot to do about those those torpedo bats, but we're not going to freak out too much. The last couple of games look pretty bad. Will they bounce back here? It's definitely possible. Paul Goldschmidt's off to a decent start. Aaron Judge obviously off to a great start, and this is the 2nd highest scoring offense in the majors right now. So we'll see how things go here, against the Tigers, who come into this game 7-4 on the season. They're off to a great start. Playing the White Sox helps with that a little bit, but I mean, they're playing well against the Yankees too, so got to give them credit. They're hitting the ball to Jack Flaherty, who comes into this game 1-0, a 2.38 ERA. He's fresh off of a dominant appearance there against the White Sox. He also pitched well Against the Dodgers, that is saying something. Bro went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits and 2 earned runs against the White Sox, albeit in an 8-5 extra inning loss. So not really his fault there. He pitched well, and then he followed it up with a good outing there against the White Sox. Now he's got to face the Yankees, so Bro has already shown he can pitch well against good opponents. So we'll see how that goes here. The Tigers' bullpen has been, I would say, mediocre, but not terrible. A 3.89 bullpen ERA here in the early goings. Nothing awful, nothing terrible. Obviously, try not to overreact to bullpen stuff here this early. In terms of their offense, it's been, I'm going to say, decent. Better than expected, probably, at least. I mean, tied for 8th with 51 runs scored. 7th in the majors, a 2.62 batting average as a team. Nothing wrong with that. And, yeah, we've seen Kerry Carpenter get off to a very good start, which is a little bit shocking. So, look at the numbers for this game. The Tigers are plus 122. The Yankees are minus 145. We got a total of 7 out there. The Yankees 2-3 on the road, 3-2 to the over on the road. Detroit 5-0 at home, 3-2 to the under at home. No big lean here on the total, maybe slightly towards the over, I guess, since it's such a small number, but not too interested in that. Taking the Tigers here at plus 122 is very, very tempting. I understand people thinking the Yankees aren't going to lose 3 in a row, and I understand that thinking, but their bats seem extremely cold, and Flaherty is no joke out there on the mound. So give me the Tigers here at plus 122. Let's get an underdog in there. Rolling right along, we're looking at the Texas Rangers going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. The Rangers, off to an 8-4 start, probably feels good, but losing their last 2 in a row against the Cubs probably doesn't feel so good, guys. Wrigley Field not being so friendly. The Rangers are hoping that Tyler Mayhill can turn things around for them. He's 1-0 in the season, a 1.35 ERA. Both of his first 2 starts of the season have been dazzling. He shut down, well, I guess it wasn't a shutdown situation against the Red Sox. He only pitched 2 2/3 innings, but still looked pretty good out there. And then against Tampa Bay, 5 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a 5-2 win there for the Rangers. So that looks good. The Rangers' bullpen in general this season has been above average, but nothing crazy. I mean, a 3.86 bullpen ERA. We're not going to celebrate that too much. The offense is off to, I would say, a bad start. Really no way around that. They're last in the majors, batting 184 as a team. Nobody off to a particularly amazing start. I mean, I guess Jake Berger, Langford also hitting the ball okay, but nothing too amazing out there. So they need to turn things around here against the Cubs, who come into this game playing really well. They're 9-5 on the season, looking like, the team that was projected to probably be the best team in the NL Central this season. They're giving the ball to Shota Imanaga, who's been great to start the year. No shock there. 2 wins, a 0.98 ERA, and he's put 3 starts under his belt. He's already broken 7 innings this season. He went 7 1/3 against the Padres, and his last start gave up only a single earned run. That was via the home run. Struck out 4, walked 0, gave up 4 hits. Dominant stuff. Also dominated the Diamondbacks and pitched really, really well. Dominated, I will say, the Dodgers. So Bro has faced 3 of the toughest teams you could possibly face here in the early goings and has emerged looking fantastic. The Cubs bullpen on the other side has not been as good. A 4.95 bullpen ERA, bottom 6 or 7 in the majors so far, so definitely something to be worked on there. The offense has been, I'll say, decent. I mean, they're the top scoring team in the majors, so it doesn't get much better than that, but the batting average numbers, the slugging percentage numbers are not necessarily elite. So we'll see how that goes. The Cubs are minus 145. The Rangers are plus 125. We've got a total of 8.5. The Rangers are 2-2 on the road, 2-2 to the over-under on the road. Chicago 3-1 at home, 3-1 to the over at home. But guys, I think this is a great spot to take the under. I think we're seeing very good stuff from Mayhill. I think we're seeing very good stuff from Imanaga. I think 8.5 is way too high for this game. I think it should be closer to 7.5 or 7. Give me the under in this one. I think it's a very solid play. If you're begging me for a side, I would maybe lean towards the Cubs here, just a hair. But you could also talk me into the Rangers. So no lean on the side, big lean towards the under. Next up, guys, we're looking at the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the Sacramento Athletics. That feels weird to say. The Padres come into this game 9-2 on the season. They're actually still playing there with the Athletics right now. And Sacramento, or the Athletics, depending on how you want to look at it, they're off to a great start. They're actually up 9-4 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So things are looking a little bit rough there for the Padres in this one. They're going to be hitting the ball to Randy Vasquez here in this game, seeing if they can get a little bit of a probably bounce back here, at least a bounce back pitching performance. Vasquez off to a great start. I mean, he is 0-1 on the season, but he's sporting a 1.69 ERA. He had a very good start to open the year against the Atlanta Braves in a game that he didn't get credit for the win, but we did see him take the loss there against the Cubs. 4 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them were earned, but he walked 5 and struck out 2. Control has been a massive problem for him in the early goings. There's no doubt about that. Definitely something to be monitoring. early on in this game to see if he's got his control back a little bit. The Padres bullpen's obviously been lights out, though, a 1.74 bullpen ERA. The sooner Vasquez gets out of this game, the better Padres bettors should like it. The offense for the Padres has been off too. I would say a decent start, decent to good at least. I mean, they're second in the majors in batting average, seventh in on-base percentage, easily top 10 in all the major categories. We're seeing guys like Tatis off to a very good start. That's a great sign. Jackson Merrill already with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs and batting .378 on the season. So a lot of positives out there for this Padres team as they go on the road here to take on the Athletics, who come into this game, guys. I mean, the idea that they're playing at home is kind of laughable. Like, these are not real home games. It's not really their home. We'll see what goes on there, but looks like they're in good shape to win here in game 2 of this series. Now we're looking at game 3 here. They're hitting the ball too young, or kind of young, I guess. Osvaldo Bido, who's 1-0 on the year, a 2.70 ERA. Bro has pitched pretty well 2 games in a row, but those are against pretty bad opponents, guys. At Seattle, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of which was earned, but he walked 4. Against Colorado, another bad team, guys. 5 innings, 6 hits, only 2 earned runs there, struck out 5 and walked 2. We'll see if that can continue here. He's going up against one of the toughest hitting teams in the majors. In terms of their bullpen, guys, the Athletics haven't exactly been killing it. A 6.08 bullpen ERA. So, pretty big concerns there. Once the bullpen gets involved in this game, things get very, very hairy there for Oakland. They've been hitting the ball, or at least some of them have. I mean, we've seen guys like Soderson, a monster start to his year. They're 12th in the majors in runs scored, 12th in batting average, and 10th in slugging percentage. So we're not going to alert the police here. There's no parade being thrown for the batters there for Sacramento. The odds makers don't hate them, though. The Padres are -130. The Athletics are +110. We've got a total of 9.5. San Diego 2-2 on the road, 3-1 to the over on the road. Sacramento, or the Athletics, depending on how you want to look at it, 0-4 at home, 4-0 to the over at home. It looks like they might be 1-4 at home, though. We'll see how that goes. But definitely another overplay there. Yesterday would have been good. We're going to be leaning towards the Padres at -130, and we're going to be leaning towards it pretty hard. I don't love Vasquez here, but I do love what I'm seeing from the Padres bullpen. I don't love Bido necessarily. I don't love the Sacramento offense either. So definitely giving the Padres here at a very reasonable -130. Rolling right along, guys, we're looking at the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Orioles come into this game 5-6 on the season. Looks like they're in a little bit of trouble in their current game right now. They are playing right now in the bottom of the 6th here at time of recording, and they're down 4-2. So we'll see how that one finishes up. They did get a win in game 1 of this series. Looks like game 2 could be a little bit unfortunate. Obviously, seeing Eflin going down there could be a problem as well. They're hitting the ball to Dean Kremer in this game, a guy who did not have a great season last year. He's 1-1 this year so far with a 6.52 ERA. Bro got pounded there by Kansas City his last time out, and against Toronto, he didn't have a good time either. So not really very deserving of that win, to be honest. Not loving what we're seeing from Kremer. The Baltimore Orioles bullpen, on the other hand, has been pretty solid, a 3.20 bullpen ERA. Nothing to turn your nose up at. The Orioles bats come into this one, I would say, looking decent to good, easily top 10 in all the major categories. The slugging percentage numbers being down is a little bit concerning for a team that is going to be very dependent on the long ball once again this season. But we'll see how that works out here as we go on the road to take on another very offensive-minded team in the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are 5-6 on the season, angling towards getting back to 500 on the year. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Brandon Pfaadt, who's 1-1 on the season, a 5.25 ERA. Both of his starts have been pretty mediocre, getting knocked around there by the Cubs, giving up only 3 runs over 6 innings. Doesn't look terrible, but he also gave up 6 hits, and he gave up a home run. And then against Washington, bro got bombed on. Gave up 3 home runs in that game over his 6 innings. Struck out 4, walked 0, but yeah, you were kind of laying it across the middle there, Pfaadt. That was not a very good start. So they need him to pitch better for sure. They need their bullpen to look better a little bit. I mean, it's not terrible. A 3.38 bullpen ERA is definitely acceptable, but is that really what we're going to be looking at long-term from Arizona? We'll have to wait and see. We're still very early on in the season here. Looking at their offensive numbers, obviously have been excellent. That's what we would expect from this team. A very, very good team up there at the plate. Easily top 6, top 8, top 10 in most major categories. Looking at the numbers, the Orioles are +105. The Diamondbacks are -120. We've got a total of 9 out there. Baltimore 4-4 on the road, 5-3 to the over on the road. Arizona 2-3 at home, 2-1 to the over/under when playing at home. 2 bets look really good in this one, guys. First of all, I definitely like the Diamondbacks here at -120. I don't love what I'm seeing from Pfaadt, though. That makes me a little bit worried about that one. Not super worried, but a little bit worried. I also think the over is super live in this game. With these 2 starters out here, I don't hate the bullpens necessarily, but the starters are terrible. I think we could easily get over 9. So definitely look at the Diamondbacks at -120. definitely look at that over. Next up, guys, we're taking a look at the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Reds come into this game off to, I would say, kind of a nightmare start. They are up 1-0 in the top of the seventh against the Giants in their current game, so maybe they've got a shot here, but I'm not necessarily loving what I'm seeing coming out of Cincinnati. They're hitting the ball to Nick Martinez in this game, who's not having a good time at all. 0-2 on the season, a 5.91 ERA. He's given up at least one home run in each of his two starts. Gave 2 home runs against the Giants, 1 home run there against the Milwaukee Brewers. Both games losses there for the Reds. It's not looking too good, guys. I mean, his walk to strikeout ratio, not looking great. Like, just in general, bro is not having a good time out there at all. So that's not a great look. The Reds bullpen, not off to an amazing, but not terrible start. A 3.82 bullpen ERA is playable, but not elite. The bats, once again, look like they're going to be a huge problem. They're 15th in the majors in runs scored, but 25th in slugging percentage, 28th in on-base percentage, 24th in batting average. Nobody's having a good time anymore. Ellie De La Cruz's numbers have immediately fallen off a cliff after a hot start in the first couple of games. Not looking great right now for the Reds. They're going on the road here to take on the San Francisco Giants, who are off to a startlingly good start to the year. 8-2 out of the gates, looking very, very good. They are trailing in their current game 1-0, but it's only the top of the seventh. That game is far from over. They're hitting the ball in this one to the veteran of all veterans, Justin Verlander, who comes into this game, guys, making his third start of the season. The first couple have looked a little bit rough. This is going to be his second start of the year against the Reds, and his first one wasn't terrible. He went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, including a home run, struck out 5 and walked 1 at Cincinnati. So this one going to be at home. That probably helps a little bit. Pitching there at Cincinnati can't feel great. His other start was against the Seattle Mariners, not the hardest hitting team, and he only lasted 2 1/3, giving up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and a home run in that game as well. So what do we expect out of Verlander here? I'm a little concerned. We'll see what happens. The bullpen for the Giants has been amazing. One of the top 2 or 3 bullpens in the majors to start the year. A 2.13 bullpen ERA is crazy work. We'll see if that can continue. We'll see if the offense can continue to be at least medium, if not top tier. I mean, they're 10th in the majors in runs scored, but 20th in batting average, 15th in slugging percentage. Not a ton of dudes off to super hot starts, but we do see Wilmer Flores. I mean, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. Not a bad start to the season for him. So, looking at the numbers, the odds makers like Verlander here. He's minus 145. The Giants are plus 125. We've got a total of 7.5. Cincinnati 2-3 on the road, 3-2 to the under on the road. San Francisco 3-1 at home, 2-2 to the over/under at home. I'm be shading here just slightly towards the Giants at minus 145. With Verlander on the mound, there's no way this goes in the pinned comment. I would also maybe take the over as opposed to the under in this game as well. You could talk me into over 7.5, but neither one of these plays can I trust to go in the pinned comment. I don't trust either one of these teams to be either good or bad here in the early goings. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Los Angeles Dodgers going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Dodgers have actually lost the first 2 in this series in their last 3 in a row. Kind of crazy to see a team this good having so much trouble. They're 9-4 on the season, so not a disaster, but not how they were supposed to look. They're hitting the ball in this one to Landon Knack, who's off to a very good start to his season, although he's only made 1 appearance, and it was a bullpen appearance. So coming out of the pen there, guys, back on 3-19 against the Chicago Cubs. 2 innings, 1 hit, good stuff there. We'll see what he looks like getting thrown into the starting lineup here. It's going to be interesting. We'll see. He's an interesting young arm. I mean, a 6'2 right-hander, not a monster guy out there on the mound. I'm expecting relatively good stuff from him here, though. The Dodgers could definitely use it. The bullpen has been good. A 2.51 bullpen ERA, very playable. It's actually 4th in the majors at time of recording, so we'll see how that goes. The offense has to get back on track here a little bit. It hasn't been great, scoring 2, 4, 7, and 3 runs over their last 4 games. Obviously, Tommy Edman off to a great start with 5 home runs already. Will Smith batting .400. They're 5th in the majors in runs scored. They are 18th in the majors in batting average, but they're 3rd in slugging percentage. So obviously, we expect the Dodgers to be just fine out there. Will this be the spot for them to bounce back? It's definitely possible going up against the Nationals here, who are 5-6 on the season. Winners of 4 in a row. They've won 2 against the Diamondbacks and 2 against the Dodgers. Kind of crazy stuff. Hitting the ball in this one to Jake Irvin, who's not recorded a result yet this season. He's sporting a 5.40 ERA. He's faced the Phillies and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Both games were losses there for the Nationals. He went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, only 2 earned runs against the Phillies, but against the Diamondbacks, not so hot, guys. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, including 2 home runs in that game. So not loving what we're seeing from Jake Irvin here in the early returns. The Washington bullpen also has not been good. 4th worst in the majors, a 5.90 bullpen ERA. So big warning signs there. The offense, I would say, is overachieving. Right now, they're around at the middle of the pack in the majors in general. I don't think that's what we're going to see from them in the long term. Although the last few games, they've been swinging some hot bats. Looking at the numbers, the Nationals are plus 134. The Dodgers are minus 158. We've got a total of 9 out there. 1-3 on the road there for the Dodgers, 2-2 to the over/under on the road. Washington 4-3 at home, 5-2 to the over at home, but I'm very unlikely to take over 9 in this game. I am very likely, though, to get on the LA Dodgers at -158. I think it's a big bounce back spot. They're due to win a game. I know I'm not necessarily in love with Knack being on the mound, but I think he probably won't be in the game for super long. I don't think they're going to let this dude go like 6 or 7 innings. So if he only pitches like 4 innings and turns us over to the bullpen, I don't think we have to worry about that at all. So go ahead and give me the Dodgers here at -158. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. The Astros and Mariners are actually playing right now, tied up at 0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. So we'll see, in the bottom of the top of the 6th inning. The Astros are going to be hitting the ball in this one to Hunter Brown, hoping he can improve on their 4-6 overall record, which hasn't been great here out of the gates. He's 1-1, a 3 ERA. 2 very solid starts, though. A good start against the Mets, a good start against the Twins. Got more run support there against the Twins, and he comes away with a win in that one. 8 strikeouts, 0 walks in that one. So very, very good stuff for Hunter Brown here in the early goings. Happy with what we're seeing from him. In terms of their bullpen, I would say the Astros are probably pretty happy as well. A 2.70 bullpen in the ERA in the early goings. Nothing wrong with that. The offense, once again, is a problem, guys. Dead last in runs scored, and this year all the numbers are looking bad. Jose Altuve's hitting the ball well here right out of the gate, but dead last in slugging percentage, 3rd from last in batting average. They've got to hit the ball better, and they're going up against kind of a tough team to hit the ball better against in the Seattle Mariners, who are 4-7 on the season. So not great at all. They're going to miss Robles. He's out at least 12 weeks or possibly the season there with that wrist issue. So yeah, we'll see how things go there. Not the best, most auspicious start for the 4-7 Mariners. They're hitting the ball in this one to Luis Castillo, who's not off to a great start himself, guys. Had that one start against the Giants, 3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs in that one. So he's going to have to pitch better. The bullpen there for the Mariners is underachieving so far. A 3.56 bullpen ERA doesn't look terrible, but for the Mariners, it's not what they're hoping for. Offensively, this team still looks pretty challenged in the bottom 10 of the majors there in most, or actually every major offensive category, and nobody off to a particularly hot start. The Mariners are +105. The Houston Astros are -125. We've got a total of 7.5. Houston 2-2 on the road, 1-1 to the over/under on the road. Seattle 4-4 at home, 5-1-2 to the under at home. It's looking like another good year to be on the under here on the Seattle Mariners when they're playing at home. I definitely like the under in this game. I think Castillo is in for a bounce back. I think Hunter Brown's in for another good start. So definitely sign me up for under 7.5 in this game. But I also think you wouldn't be crazy to hop on the Houston Astros at -125. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The White Sox already 2-8 on the season. Things are looking pretty freaking bleak out there. They've lost their last, what is it up to now? 6 in a row. They're hitting the ball to Sean Burke, who is part of that problem, guys. He is 1-1 on the season. I guess a great start there against the Angels to get off to a good start to his season, but then he got shelled by the Twins his last time out. 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 home runs in there. So, yeah, not very good stuff for this young right-hander. Obviously, 25 years old. He's a 6'6 righty out there on the mound. Like, there's potential, but is it going to be enough to carry him through? In terms of the bullpen for the White Sox, they are not as bad as they were last season, or at least not yet. Sporting a 4.73 bullpen ERA, though. Obviously not very good. The offense struggling out of the gate here. No major shock there. One of the worst 3 or 4 offenses in the majors here in the early goings. They're going up against the Cleveland Guardians, who have had a disappointing start to their season, going only 4-6 overall. But they've got time to turn things around here, obviously. They're giving the ball to Logan Allen, who's 0-1 in the season, a 6.75 ERA. He's going to be making his second start of the year. His first one was at the Padres, and it didn't go great. 5 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, gave up a home run. And bro had no control. He walked 5. Walked 5 in that game. Not a great look. So we'll see what he can do to turn things around. We'll see what the bullpen here looks like for Cleveland. In the early goings, they're not bad. A 2.68 bullpen ERA has them 6th in the major. So expecting pretty good stuff from the bullpen. In terms of the offense, I mean, they're not off to the greatest start either, but they've got a way to, kind of turn things around here, look a lot better. 21st in the majors in batting average is not where this team wants to end up. Stephen Kwan, though, shout out to a guy on my MLB fantasy team. He's off to a very good start, and Jose Ramirez is doing his thing as well. So, looking at the numbers, we see the White Sox at +155, the Guardians at -190. We've got a total of 7.5. The White Sox are 0-4 on the road, 2-2 to the over/under on the road. Cleveland 1-0 at home and 1-0 to the under at home. Obviously, we're not that enthused about taking the White Sox in pretty much any spot, but it'll happen at some point this season, guys. Don't get me wrong. We could theoretically end up on the on Cleveland here -1.5. If you take a -1.5, you can get them at +122. That seems pretty appealing. I don't necessarily love what I've seen from Logan Allen here, but I think he's in a good spot to have a bounce back. So, yeah, go ahead and give me the Guardians here at -1.5 with an outside shot to end up in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, headed out to the AL East. We're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Boston Red Sox. The Blue Jays 7-5 to start the season, and pretty good start to this series here. Is a 2-0. Knocking off the Red Sox 6-2 and 6-1 there at Fenway. Probably feels pretty good if you're a Blue Jays fan. Obviously, signing your franchise player there to that massive deal has to feel pretty good. Sounds like they're keeping Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the building, so that's a good look for Toronto fans as well. They're hitting the ball to Kevin Gausman in this game. He's 1-1 with a 3.97 ERA. He's fresh off of another decent but not elite start. He had a good start against the Orioles to start the year. 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Then at the Mets, guys, 5 2/3 innings, 3 earned runs. He's given up at least one home. He's given up one home run in each of his first 2 starts. So bro hasn't been dominant, but he's been fine out there. The Toronto bullpen, which is obviously a disaster last year, has gotten off to a bad start once again this year. A 5.03 ERA coming out of the pen is definitely a problem that needs to be addressed. The offense is off to a slightly better than average start, 6th in the majors in batting average, 8th in on-base percentage, but tied for 15th in runs. They got to get those guys across the plate, but so far here at Wrigley Field, that has not been much of a problem. We see them going up against the Red Sox here once again, though, obviously, and the Red Sox are 6-6 on the year. They come into this game needing some wins. I mean, they beat up on the Cardinals, cool, but the Cardinals look pretty bad, if I'm being honest. They're hitting the ball in swing to Tanner Houck, who's 0-1 with a 6.52 ERA. He had a kind of rough time there against Baltimore, but he did avoid taking the loss there because of run support. But 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and a home run. Not looking great, and he's given up at least one. He gave up 2 home runs against the Rangers and then 1 home run against Baltimore. Not trending in exactly the right direction here. So not super high on him, not super high on the Boston bullpen. A 4.10 bullpen ERA is not good. The offense is also not off to a good enough start to outweigh the pitching staff necessarily, and their numbers are kind of bolstered by some fake ones. Like you put up 18 runs in one game against the Cardinals and 13 in the other. You take out those 2 games and all of a sudden you're having a bad offensive season. So we'll see what it looks like. We'll see what it looks like here down the stretch. But right now, the Blue Jays are +110. The Red Sox are -125. We've got a total of 8. Toronto 1-3 on the road, are up to 2-3 on the road now, I believe. 3-0-1 to the under on the road. Boston 3-1 at home, or 3-2 now. 2-0-2 to the over at home. I'm not really interested in the total of 8 in this game. You could definitely talk me into the Blue Jays here at +110, though. I know it would be a sweep, but here in the early goings, I think sweeps are probably a little bit more possible. And I think with Gausman on the mound, they actually have an advantage on the mound. I have not liked what I've seen out of Tanner Houck this season. I think what the numbers that he put up last season were a little bit fake as well. I think the Blue Jays +110 are very live in this game. Next up, we're headed out to Tampa Bay. We're looking at the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Angels come into this game 7-3 on the season, winners of their last 3 in a row. They got the 4-3 win there yesterday against Tampa Bay, so that's a good look for sure. We'll see how things look here, guys. I mean, the Angels obviously at 7-3, not really where we expected them to be. They're hitting the ball to Yusei Kikuchi, who's 0-1 in the season, a 4.50 ERA. He had a pretty rough start there against the Chicago White Sox, which was a little bit embarrassing, but backed it up with a decent start against the Cardinals. 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. He did walk 5 in that game, though, so that's a problem. We'll see what Kikuchi can do out there on the mound in this one. Obviously, somebody we expected to have a solid season. We'll see if that turns into reality. The Angels have had a good start to the year, despite their bullpen being pretty bad, a 5.58 bullpen ERA. Obviously not what you're looking for. Their offense, though, has been off to a pretty good start. 11th in the majors in runs scored, 13th in slugging percentage. We've seen guys like Logan O'Hoppe off to a pretty good start. Obviously, 367 average, 5 home runs, 9 RBIs. You will definitely take every bit of that. We'll see if they can continue that here against the Tampa Bay Rays, who are only 4-6 on the season, obviously not having a great time. Handing the ball to young Ryan Pepiot in this game, who has had a couple pretty decent starts, no doubt about that. He is 0-1 with a 2.45 ERA, but he dominated the Colorado Rockies in his first start and followed it up with a very solid start there against the Pirates. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs in that one. So not a lot of issues there. We'll see if he can continue to throw the ball well. The Rays' bullpen is off to a decent start, a 3.25 bullpen ERA. They will certainly take that out of that bunch. Their offense, I mean, we've seen pretty good stuff from like Jonathan Arenado. He's hit the ball well. Brandon Lowe's hitting the ball well, but they're still only 23rd in the majors in runs scored, despite being top 10 in batting average. So we'll see what happens once those numbers level themselves out. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Angels are +120. The Rays are -140. We've got a total of 7.5 or 8. Both numbers still available to you out there. The Angels 4-2 on the road, 4-2 to the over on the road. Tampa Bay 4-2 at home, 5-1 to the under at home. I think under 8 is very live in this game. I expect Kikuchi to continue to pitch better as the season goes on. I love what Pepio is doing right now. I think both these offenses are like a little bit overachieving at the moment, and I think both offenses are going to be very bad over the course of the year. So definitely give me a big look at under 8 in this game. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we are looking at the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the Atlanta Braves. The Phillies come into this game 7-3 on the season, fresh off a tough 7-5 loss there at Atlanta. They're hitting the ball in this one to Taijuan Walker, hoping he can continue what is a very hot start to his season. He dominated the Colorado Rockies in his first start of the year. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, walked 1, struck out 4, and a 3-1 win there for the Phillies. So does the 32-year-old have more of that in the tank? Well, he's facing a lot tougher squad than the Colorado Rockies, so we'll have to see. The Phillies bullpen, off to a middle-of-the-road start, but it's early on, so we're not going to freak out too much, but a 3.90 ERA in the early returns isn't exactly what you would hope for. The offense has been doing its thing, though, no doubt about that, except for they're having a little bit of trouble getting the runs across the plate. I mean, their on-base percentage is insane. Their batting average is insane. Their slugging percentage is very good as well. Kyle Schwarber not having any problems, guys, batting .324, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs here. So if you can keep doing that, good things are going to happen for the Phillies. But right now, they've got to take on the Atlanta Braves, who were in need of something positive after getting off to a terrible start. They're still only 2-8 on the year, but winning 2 out of their last 3, they probably feel like hope is on the horizon at least. They're hitting the ball to Grant Holmes in this game, who not off to the best start. It was kind of weird. He had a bullpen appearance there against the Padres, looked good in that, then got shelled by the Dodgers. I mean, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, a home run, walked 4, and struck out 3. So he's getting another start, but it's going to need to be better than that one. It's going to need to be a lot better. Maybe he's just not cut out for the starting role. We will see. The Atlanta Braves bullpen, obviously coming off an amazing year last year, has not been amazing here in the early goings. Ninth from the bottom, or like 21st or something like that in the majors, a 4.71 bullpen ERA. Not what they're used to seeing in Atlanta. The offense is off to a terrible start. They're last in runs scored, second to last in batting average. Those numbers are obviously getting better over the last couple games, but yeah, it's not been a hot start for them at the plate at all. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, see the Phillies at +105, the Braves at -125. We've got a total of 9 out there. The Phillies 2-1 on the road, 2-1 to the over on the road. Atlanta 1-1 at home and 1-1 to the over/under at home. I think this is a very reasonable spot to be on the Phillies at +105. I am not loving what I'm seeing from Grant Holmes. I'm not loving what I'm seeing from the Braves bullpen. Maybe they'll bounce back. Maybe they'll be better, but I definitely think this is a great spot to back the Phillies, who are playing much better baseball here in the early goings than what we're seeing out of Atlanta, even though they are kind of turning things around. Next up, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Twins come into this game 3-8 on the season. They've lost their last 3 in a row. Things are not going well there at Kansas City. They lost 4-2 and 2-1, so close games, but losses nonetheless. They're hitting the ball to Joe Ryan, hoping he can save them. He's 0-1 on the season, a 4.50 ERA. First start of the year, pretty solid there against the Cardinals, but got no run support, and then he got knocked around kind of aggressively there by the Houston Astros. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, and he gave up 2 home runs in that game, despite striking out 6 and walking 0. So, gonna need to work on those home run numbers. That's not great. Against the Royals, we'll see if he can turn it around. We'll see what that Twins bullpen continues to look like. If they can keep this up, I mean, they're currently 5th in the majors, a 2.68 bullpen ERA, but that seems a little unsustainable for this group, but we'll see. Offensively, they're 20th in the majors, 28th in batting average, 28th in slugging percentage, not exactly having a great time out there at the plate. So we'll see if they can turn it around against the Royals, who have had their way the first couple games in this series. Kansas City 6-5 on the year, kind of making up for a tough start to their season. They're giving the ball to Seth Lugo, who's 1-0 with a 3.27 ERA. He's faced the Cleveland Guardians and the Baltimore Orioles so far, and the Royals have found success in both starts. I would say the start against the Orioles was definitely his fault. I mean, he went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, only a single earned run. Against Cleveland, he didn't have a great time, gave up 3 earned runs in 5 innings. So we'll see if he can improve a little bit. Obviously, Lugo, a monster out there. No problems for me here with Lugo. The Royals bullpen has been decent, slightly above average, but nothing to write home about. Their offense has been off to a pretty slow start, but they're turning things around, up to 13th in the majors in batting average and 17th in runs scored, looking a bit better here down the stretch, and that's part of why they are -115 in this game. The Twins are -105. We've got a total of 7.5. Minnesota only 2-5 on the road, 4-2-1 to the over on the road. Kansas City 4-3 at home, 4-3 to the over at home as well. I'm leaning towards the Royals here at -115. We're going to be very likely to ride the Royals when they're at home. Is this going in the pin comment, though? Probably not. It seems like a rough spot to expect a sweep here, but I do think the Royals are in a pretty good spot with Seth Lugo on the mound, so I would be lying if I said this one didn't have a chance. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the Colorado Rockies. The Brewers come into this game 6-5 on the season, winners of their last 2 in a row and 6 out of their last 7 as they kind of turn things around after a terrible start to their year. They're giving the ball to Tyler Alexander in this game, who comes into this one making his fourth appearance, but only second start. His last outing was a start against Cincinnati. He went 5 2/3 innings, was great out there, gave up 0 hits, 0 earned runs, struck out 6, and walked 3. So very good stuff. It was a 3-2 win there for Milwaukee as well. So they'll definitely take that, hoping this bullpen guy can suddenly turn into a real starter. I mean, the dude's 30 years old. You don't usually see that transition that late in their careers, but right now Bro is doing it. The Milwaukee bullpen, on the other hand, has not been good. They've been downright bad. 6.92 bullpen ERA right now isn't great, but that's obviously a very early returns kind of number that I expect to drastically improve. The offense has been looking very good, moving right up the standings here recently, putting up 7, 8, 7, 3, and 1 run over their last few games. Definitely headed in the right direction. I'm not too worried about this Brewers offense here as they go up against the Colorado Rockies, who come into this game 2-8 on the season. They're fresh off that 7-1 loss. They're hitting the ball in this one to Antonio Senzatella, who comes in this game 0-1 on the season, but has yet to give up an earned run, despite giving up 10 hits. 10 hits there against the Phillies in his last outing. So not a great look. Obviously, we'll see if Bro can improve a little bit. This 30-year-old right-hander, not exactly super high on my list of elite pitching prospects. He's going up 19 hits over his first 2 starts. So worried about him, worried about this Rockies bullpen, currently worst in the majors right now. Not a huge shock, though this bullpen was historically bad last season. It looks like that's going to continue here. Looking at the offense for the Rockies, not a great start either. Obviously, you don't expect them to be amazing in the early goings necessarily, but 20th in the majors in runs scored is pretty freaking bleak. Looking at the numbers, the Brewers are -142. The Rockies are +120. We've got a total of 10.5. Milwaukee 0-3 on the road, 2-1 to the over on the road. Colorado 1-2 at home, 2-0-1 to the over at home. I'm not taking over 10.5 in what's going to be a very cold environment there in Colorado, but I will take the Brewers at -142. I think that's pretty reasonable value. I think they're a very a team that's headed in the right direction. I can't say that for the Rockies. Now, will this end up in the pinned comment? I don't know if I trust Tyler Alexander that much, but I would say it's got a chance. The Rockies are pretty freaking bad. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Get over to Stump the Spread right away. Get on that email list. Check out our premium picks if you have any questions about that, guys, or any questions about anything else. Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click that link in the description like I was talking about to get to stumpthespread.com, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.